Welcome back to sticky, sun-soaked Tampa, everybody, where today the elephant in the stadium is what happens tomorrow, Black Monday. Neither one of these teams is making the playoffs, so it's likely someone needs to pay. The Bucs especially could look entirely different this time tomorrow. Question marks from top to bottom, including the futures of head coach Dirk Cutter and quarterback Jameis Winston. Cutter especially, personally, doesn't sound too confident about his future here. He ended his weekly radio show Friday by thanking fans for the support for the past few years and promising them he'll always be a Bucs fan, even when he's not in Tampa. As for the Falcons, Dan Quinn likely safe, but staff changes would be no surprise. So, Dick, a lot of folks wanting to leave everything on the field today, playing for jobs and futures.
No question about it, Jen. And Dan Quinn's Falcons have won the toss. They defer, and so the Buccaneers will get the ball first. And Bobo Wilson is returning from 2 yards in the end zone and gets an opening and brings it out close to the 30-yard line. Jameis Winston making his 9th start of the season. 3-5 is his record. That's his mark in the last game that they played. Most passing yards, tied second place, and 4 touchdowns, but the 2 interceptions, and that's what you got to watch with Winston.
Yeah, it's been 75 turnovers since he entered the league. It's the highest turnover margin in the league, tied with Blake Bortles, and that's really what's hampered this offense, because they're an explosive, big play down the field type of offense, just making too many mistakes.
Looking to throw on first down, slipping a bit with his back foot and overthrowing Auclair, one of the tight ends on the team. Let's take a look at the Buccaneers offense, and Deshaun Jackson, who's had an Achilles problem and other injuries since the start of the year, now wants to move on. So this will be Deshaun Jackson's last appearance, although Chris Godwin will start for him, and he's one of those other receivers you were talking about that could start.
Yeah, the main focus here is Mike Evans. He is a big-time playmaker, long, lean, and runs great routes.
4 yards short of a Buccaneer record for pass receiving yards in the season, but Peyton Barber with his first carry of the game, and that will bring up 3rd down. Take a look at the Falcons defensive unit, and it's going to be Jack Crawford in a starting role at defensive tackle for this defensive team. Their issue has been 3rd down, and that's a problem they have right now coming up, 3rd down.
It is, and Grady Jarrett is really their best defensive player, playing nose guard, playing defensive tackle as well. He's a dynamic guy that gets off the ball.
On 3rd down and 5 with time, and the pass a little bit too high for Godwin. And 4th down coming up, so 3 and out for the Bucs.
Godwin coming over the middle, and he's open. And this is a problem that Jameis Winston has had throughout the course of his career. Just off. Technique falls down in the pocket at times. Anytime he has to hold the ball, he tends to sail it a little bit, and it starts at his feet. He's got to clean those mechanics up a little bit.
Brian Anger will punt for Tampa Bay, and Justin Hardy going back. Good kick that time by Anger, and Hardy feels it inside his 10. And will be stopped short at the 23-yard line. A 58-yard punt for Brian Anger. So Matt Ryan coming on for the Atlanta Falcons. And there you see the passing yards this season, 3rd in the NFL. But what impresses me, 33 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. So he has not made the kind of mistakes his opposite number Winston has made.
Yeah, and you think about that, 33 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. But get this, he's been sacked over 40 times. So there have been many times where he's been under duress and yet still has made great decisions on the season.
Falcons will begin from the 24. And off to Tevin Coleman. He's been bothered by a groin injury and returned to practice on Friday. Vinny Curry making the tackle for the Buccaneers. Curry starting in place of the injured Carl Nassib at defensive end for the Buccaneers defense. And they've failed to force a turnover after getting 10 in the previous 4 games. That's critical for them.
And Mohamed Sanu is really kind of the vocal leader of this offense, a guy that gets them going.
Second down and 12. And making the reception is Austin Hooper, having a terrific year at tight end and a Pro Bowl alternate. And it'll be a first down for the Falcons, gain of 15.
Well, Hooper just on an out route right here. Just a drag out into the flat defender, nowhere to be seen right there. That is just an easy pitch and catch. It's like stealing. You're going to give us that flat all day long? Matt Ryan understands it. We'll take that flat easy. You know what? You never go broke making a profit. That's a big-time profit from the tight end.
Will be one of those recipients for Matt Ryan that you talked about at the beginning. And here's Coleman. And Coleman with a good run on first down, getting out close to the 42-yard line. Buccaneers defensive unit. And since taking over for Mike Smith, Mark Duffner's defense has allowed 9 fewer points per game, so there's been an improvement there.
Yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul, the undoubted leader of this team, coming over from the Giants. They traded for him. Just a football playing Jesse.
Second down and 5, short drop, and a completion and a first down to the impressive rookie Calvin Ridley. And so the second first down in this opening possession after the gain of 6.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay is one of those teams, Dick, that plays just an absolute ton of zone, but expect them to play some two-man today where they're manned up underneath and trying to get double teams over the top, especially to Julio Jones' side.
Just shy of midfield are the Falcons, and Brian Hill, who had a career-high game last week against the Panthers with a 114-yard effort, has come in the backfield. And they fake to him, and Ryan's pass, and that was dropped. Looked like it was right on the mark to Marvin Hall, but he dropped the pass. He had position, and it'll be second down.
Marvin Hall just coming off the ball right here. He's man-to-man with Grimes. You see him push him up right here at the top of the stem, turns around. Matt Ryan couldn't deliver it any better than that. Look at the timing of that, throwing it before he's out of his break, and it's right between the 1 and the 7. Hits him in the chin. You've got to be able to hang on to that ball, and that's just one of those. Stick your hands out there, catch the ball with your hands, not with your face.
Always a good idea.
Yeah, that's football 101, Dick.
On second down and 10, Hill with the carry and edges his way into Tampa Bay territory with a 3-yard pickup. Holding call against the Falcons. Brad Allen, the referee.
Holding. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's Jake Matthews, and Wes Schweitzer unable to go today at left guard. Started the previous 13 games, and so Ty Sembralo will be the left guard. Zane Beadles is the right guard, and Ryan Schrader starts at right tackle. So with some injuries, a little juggling a bit up front for Atlanta.
Boy, the guard position has been one of just despair, the way they've had injuries across the board with a bunch of different starters.
Second down and 20, and Hill lines up as a receiver with the empty backfield. And the pass thrown underneath. Julio Jones, the intended receiver, and that was broken up by the veteran Brent Grimes.
Exactly what we talked about with that two-man coverage. Man across the board underneath with the 2 high safeties. You see Grimes right here. He's going to have help over the top. He knows that. You can use a little trail right there. Sticks his hand in there. Good use of his hands around the hips, gaining a little bit of momentum for himself as he sticks his left hand across the bow of Julio Jones to break that ball up.
Third down and 20. And those safeties are playing way back for the Buccaneers. And Ryan can't get away, but completes the pass to Austin Hooper. And Hooper will be tackled well short of the first down. And good pressure by the veteran Gerald McCoy of Tampa Bay. They got 12 yards, but that won't be enough.
Yeah, an initial pressure from the outside. Great pass rush on the outside. I think that was JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, and there you see McCoy with the inside pressure. Anytime you can force the quarterback because you've got that great outside hoop run by JPP, you force him into the middle where McCoy and Vita Vea is standing there to try to take those quarterbacks down.
Matt Bodger will kick it away, and Adam Humphries standing at the 10 for the Buccaneers. Kicking toward the corner, and it takes a Atlanta bounce backward, and inside the 10-yard line, the ball goes out of bounds. So Jameis Winston 3 and out the first time around for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll go at it again when we come back.
Game is sponsored by Domino's. Order online and track your order.
Well, there's a comparison for you. The Buccaneers' third-ranked offense, number 1 passing attack. And as my partner mentioned, the explosive plays have been behind all of that. And the defense for Atlanta, because they've not gotten enough takeaways, way down on the list. Todd Monken calls the plays from upstairs. So Dirk Cutter gave that role over to him during the season. But starting from the 7-yard line is Jameis Winston. Peyton Barber brings it out past the 10 on first down. Good gain of at least 5 yards on the first down play.
Most teams want to attack the Atlanta Falcons between the tackles. That's where they've been weak. And think about this. In the last 7 games, the Falcons have given up over 1,000, I say that again, 1,000 yards rushing. And that includes a game against Arizona where Arizona only got, I think, 60 yards rushing. So that's a real weakness for this football team.
And don't forget, injuries early on really short-circuited what could have been an outstanding defense. 2nd down and 4. They go to Barber again, and Barber will have the first down before he is smacked down near the 20 by Devondre Campbell. He gets 7 yards.
Well, Barber's one of those guys. He's just not afraid to put his bean on you, right? He just lowers his helmet, puts that bucket on you, and falls forward for a couple of yards. The big deal, he'll finish runs. If you block it for 2, he'll get you 4. If you block it for 1, he'll get you 2 or 3. The problem is when he gets in the open field, making that last guy miss. That's what he struggles with. So that's been his biggest issue.
Barber having career highs in many categories. And here is Winston, and the pass is going to be caught to Evans. And Evans has a first down just shy of the 40. And as a result of that completion, he sets the Buccaneers record for receiving yards in a season. He gets 19 on this play alone.
Go, Pepper!
Well, there he is, right there, 1,433. That's a franchise record for this Bucs team with Evans.
From the 39, throwing on first down as Winston gets time and overthrows Godwin. So 2nd down and 10 coming up.
I tell you, Mike Evans is one of those guys where he is so long, so tall, arm span, wingspan, gets people off of him. But he is one of those guys that just has that unique size-speed combination. And I think he's one that you don't realize how good a route runner he is until you're playing against him because he's got so many other physical attributes.
Sometimes he gets ignored when you talk about some of the great wide receivers in the game. Here's Barber. Barber pushing forward with the second effort, gets a couple of extra yards instead of no gain. He got 2 on that play, bringing up 3rd down.
Yeah, it's just a pile push. Look, they got everybody up here in the A-gaps. They got, they've got the linebackers walking up in the A-gaps. Barber, just a big, thick guy, keeps the pile pushing, keeps it moving forward. Instead of 3rd down and 10 or 11, you know, you're sitting at a 3rd down and 8, but you got positive yards, and that's what he brings to the game.
And open is Adam Humphries, and a first down into Falcon territory. They'll probably mark it exactly at the 50. 9-yard pass to an open Adam Humphries, tied a career high with 10 catches last week.
Yeah, they're just running a combo route down here, and they sail Adam Humphries into the flat right there versus zone coverage, and he has just been so good, been such a remarkable receiver this year in the middle of the football field, moving the chains. He's a first down machine inside.
Ready! Blue ready!
From midfield, Winston. And that's going to be caught by Bobo Wilson. They're finding some open receivers, are the Buccaneers, in this drive. 16 yards there. And don't forget, this drive started at the 7 for Jameis Winston.
He's just running a curl, and look how soft the coverage is right here by Trufant. He's off about 12 yards. He just stops the route, comes back to the football. I mean, a better throw would have given Bobo an opportunity to maybe run after catch, but that is a wide open. You don't get any more wide open than that in the National Football League.
Humphries on the play before that. So they're on the 34, and Peyton Barber gets inside the 30, and a flag is down, our first penalty of the game.
Holding. Offense, number 82. 10-yard penalty.
It's holding against the tight end, Anthony Auclair. So another penalty against the Buccaneers, and that's been the big problem for this team. Minus 18 in the ratio, next to last in the league. And the penalties on offense especially have really curtailed what could be good drives for them.
Yeah, Auclair, I mean, you take guys down to the ground. When you tackle guys, you're just going to get called. I mean, that is the nature of the way they call the game for the NFL.
First down and 20, and going short to Humphries on first down. Makes the grab at the 36. He gets 8 of those yards back. It'll bring up second down. No score. The Buccaneers have lost 7 of their last 8 games. Start of the season 2-0 after winning at New Orleans, and then against Philadelphia here. And that was the only road game Dirk Cutter's team has won this year. Second and 12. And a good catch made. Short of a first down by about 2.5 yards by Godwin. Robert Alford was right with him, the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons.
That is a nice catch, and you took away easy because Humphries is wide open, but you went on the out route right here. Humphries just hooks up, but I'm telling you what, Godwin making a beautiful stab at the ball. Love going up there, high pointing the ball, catching it above your body to keep the defender away, then tucking away and have the presence of mind to get both feet down.
And they're going to go to Peyton Barber, and he'll get the first down. Tell you what, Jameis Winston has gotten good protection so far in this first quarter, and they've used the running game to great effect. 6-yard gain there, and it'll be a first down at the 21.
Well, that's a zone read right there. That time the end crashed down to take Barber. They still get the big yardage, but Jameis Winston was on the outside. Now he's run, he's scrambled, hasn't necessarily taken the ball in the running game, but that right there, if you're a coaching staff, you're saying that's wide open.
Tampa Bay forced to call a timeout. The right guard, Caleb Benenoch, is shaken up. Will return.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's.
That's Caleb Benenoch, the right guard on the bench. We didn't see any physical problem with him, but he kind of bent over as if the heat might have been affecting him there. We're not sure. Alex Kappa, the rookie, third-round choice from Humboldt State, has gone in to replace him at right guard. And no timeout is charged to Tampa Bay because of that injury. So it'll be first down at the 21 of Atlanta. Winston to the outside to Barber. Pushed out of bounds by Desmond Trufant. Pickup of 2.
I'll tell you what, you watch the hair on that offensive liner. This got to be the longest hair combo between center and guard in the National Football League. Look at this. Jensen with the hair, Kappa with the hair. Kappa hair right there. That's a lot of hair.
They got hair and oil. Here's Winston going to the end zone to Evans. And it is a touchdown. Mike Evans with a terrific catch and not much room to work. A 19-yard touchdown pass, beating Trufant to the ball. That was a work of art for Mike Evans, and Winston put it just where he had to go.
Beautiful over the top right here. You've got one-on-one single high safety in the middle, and you're on top of that defensive back. Little jab with the hand, subtle right there to create some separation, and then go ahead. touchdown, beautifully placed by Jameis Winston. You can't walk down there and put it in his hands any better than what Jameis just delivered that ball to Mike Evans.
7th touchdown catch of the season for Evans, and Cairo Santos looking to give the Buccaneers a 7-0 lead. And Santos perfect in extra points since joining the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But how about Mike Evans, a touchdown catch, as well as breaking the all-time Tampa Bay record for receiving yards.
Game on Fox is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right. And by Burger King. Try the new $6 King Box, only at Burger King.
An impressive 93-yard drive engineered by Winston, 6.5 minutes, and the longest plays were to Evans, the 19-yard touchdown pass, and another 19-yard pass, and youngest to 6,000 receiving yards is Mike Evans, and we have confetti over him. Before New Year's, he gets it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Dick. Happy New Year. Yeah, it's just an amazing accomplishment. 25 years old, as you can see, and he is an amazing talent in this league and probably does not get the recognition he deserves as being one of the elite wide receivers.
So 7-0, the Buccaneers lead, scoring on their second possession of the game after going 3 and out. And Santos will be kicking off. Marvin Hall is back deep for the Falcons. It'll be a low bouncing kick, and Hall at the 6. And he won't get beyond the 20. Send it down to Jen Hale.
Dick, I know this sounds crazy since we're about to ring in the new year, but conditions down here feel more like the beginning of September. It is hot, and that's likely what's affecting Caleb Benenoch right now. He's questionable with an illness. Athletic trainers have bathed him down with an icy sponge. They've given him oxygen. Him and other players, they're encouraging to drink and eat slushy Gatorade slushes to try to cool body temperatures. It's a warm one, unseasonably.
Sure is, Jennifer, and this is the last game of the regular season, and they have to deal with the conditions. Very humid. First down for Matt Ryan, and he's got loads of time, and the pass nearly intercepted by Jordan Whitehead. Mohamed Sanu was the target downfield, but the rookie Whitehead nearly picked one off. And let's go to a game break now, and here is Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Well, thanks, Dick. So Jets, Patriots. Patriots clinch the 2 seed with the win. Tom Brady finds James White for the 17-yard score. Patriots up 7-0. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
All right, Carissa, thank you very much. 2nd down and 10. The Patriots, with a win, clinch a first-round bye in the playoffs that begin next weekend. They like to avoid playing next weekend. Hand off to Kevin Coleman, giving ground, and Coleman may have gotten something out of it, and hopping out of bounds is Coleman. Darius Taylor making the play on him, but a 2-yard pickup. Coleman expected to play about half the snaps, and we mentioned earlier, struggling with the groin injury, didn't practice until Friday, so Brian Hill then comes into the game for him.
Brian Hill, a physical runner, put one on the ground last week, but he really established himself as a great backup here in Atlanta.
3rd down and 8. Out of the backfield, and the pass is caught by Jones, who lined up as a receiver, and Jones is going to be shy of the first down, tackled at the 30 by Levante David. So now the Falcons will have to kick it away. Just missed.
Yeah, and Levante David did a great job. They're just running a shallow cross, but he navigates traffic right here. Make sure he stays inside out, right, and put his shoulder pads right in to Jones as he tries to knife for that first down. Really nice tackle.
And Jones, of course, has been battling injuries of his own to the hip and the ribs, and I noticed he slipped a little bit just as the contact was made. So Bajer is in to kick again. Adam Humphries back deep for the Bucs. Fair catch. Humphreys at the 22, so much better field position coming up for Jameis Winston and Tampa Bay. They managed a 93-yard touchdown drive the last time. They get the ball back, leading 7-0.
Well, last time they had the ball, they marched 93 yards. Jameis Winston, Mike Evans, big plays in the passing game. And the one thing you're going to see here consistently, how wide open guys are off coverage, making sure they keep the ball in front. Atlanta is saying, hey, you've had 71 big plays, explosive plays on the season. We're going to try to keep everything in front of you. Dick, at some point, you got to tighten things up and you got to play a little bit more press coverage.
Winston is 7 of 10 thus far. From the 21, Peyton Barber will lose yardage, so good aggressiveness from the Falcon defensive group led by Stephen Means, making his 3rd straight start, former Philadelphia Eagle, and he's one the Falcons are counting on in the future. Second down and 13. Atlanta has lost some close ones, but have fallen behind in many of their contests. And here's Barber again. And Barber getting to the 21-yard line. Should be about 3rd and about 10 coming up for Tampa Bay.
They've been pretty good, as you can imagine. They're 3rd in the National Football League, picking up 3rd down and long situations because of the explosiveness of that passing game, because you've got Mike Evans out there with the long arms and the big body to screen guys off. So this is a place where Tampa has been fairly efficient over the course of the season.
And this is where Atlanta's had their problems, although strangely enough more effective on 3rd and long than 3rd and short. It's a 9-yard situation now, and Winston takes off, and Jameis Winston's going to get a first down and get close to the 40-yard line, picking his spots. Jameis Winston picking up 14 yards and a first down. He's the 2nd leading rusher for this team.
And this is one thing he's done an absolutely outstanding job of. You see him pointing out the traffic right here, asking Cameron Brate, go get a block for me. I'm scrambling right now. But instead of taking those shots down the field at times, he understands that if it's not there, your first read, sometimes the best thing is just to use my feet, make sure I make positive yardage, and put us in a position to convert.
And he had good running room there. So the ball now on the 37. And up the middle, another open receiver is Evans. And Evans is going to be dragged down just shy of the 45-yard line. But that'll bring up 2nd down and short for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they change sides. That is the end of the first quarter here in Tampa with the Buccaneers leading the Falcons by a score of 7-0. The great scenes of Tampa, Florida, and a great day today. Temperature 77, feels like more as we start the second quarter, and comparing our weather with the temperatures in the other 1 p.m. games. And you know what strikes me is the fact that it ain't that cold in places like Buffalo and Green Bay and even East Rutherford and Foxborough. You'd think it'd be much colder at this time of year, but it's not.
I tell you what, those big old linemen hate this weather right here.
I guess.
They'd much rather be in those cold cities.
Ask Caleb Benenoch, huh? So we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, and Jen Hale. It'll be 2nd down and 3, and this pass is knocked away incomplete. Winston had thrown 7 straight completions before missing there, as Watson was defended well by Trufant. So it'll be 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Trufant that time only had about a 4-yard cushion. Shuffling, kind of a flat foot read, reading the receiver on the in-cutting route and just putting his foot in the ground and breaking on it. Very nice play defensively by Desmond Trufant.
You know, the Bucs got 7 first downs in the first quarter, which is pretty decent for any offense. 3rd down and 3. And the pass will be caught by Jacquizz Rodgers, former Falcon, but stopped in his tracks by Sherrod Niesman, 2-yard gain. And so 4th down and short coming up.
Yeah, Niesman out there. He is the hook flat defender. So he's dropping back. He's about 8-12 yards in that distance, that area. He's got to rally up to the flat to get Jacquizz Rodgers, and that's a beautiful tackle. He can't be done any better than what he did in the open field in space.
That's Justin Hardy for the Falcons. And Brian Anger, who kicked a 58-yard punt the first time around, another good one, fair catch, called for by Hardy at the 12-yard line. Well, the Falcons came into the season obviously with high expectations. Late fourth quarter plays in 4 close losses defined their year. Week 1, final play of the game, Matt Ryan incomplete to Julio Jones. A couple of weeks later, a Drew Brees rushing touchdown forced overtime. The next week, Andy Dalton threw the game winner to A.J. Green. And in week 11, the Cowboys won the game on a game-ending field goal. So they had 4 losses in the final 3 minutes and 2 of those defeats in the final seconds. And that could have turned around this record right now. Jeremy Langford is in the backfield for the Falcons on 1st down and 10. And Langford, turning the corner, picks up about 4 yards. So Dan Quinn's team, he's going to have his first losing year since he's come here. Your assessment of Atlanta?
Well, I look at them. They're an exceptionally talented team. They've gone through some injury issues, not an excuse, but a reason. But Dan Quinn told us we've developed great depth, and we've also exposed the lack thereof. So they know the direction they need to go in the offseason to improve this football team.
2nd down and 6. Langford. And he'll be about 2.5 yards shy of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down coming up for the Falcons. Langford, who had not carried the ball in 2 years before those 2 carries. Steve Sarkisian in his 2nd year as Falcons offensive coordinator, and that's one of the question marks going forward for this team.
Yeah, it's not a question mark for me. I think he's done a tremendous job juggling offensive lines, all the injuries, and Matt Ryan has had his 2nd best season, just shy of the MVP season from a couple of years ago. I think that would be a huge mistake to let go of Sark.
I couldn't agree with you more. 3rd down and 2. And this pass is going to be knocked away. Terrific defensive play by Andrew Adams, the former New York Giant, breaking up what would have been a 1st down. But getting back to Sarkisian, I mean, I think Matt Ryan has had enough offensive coordinators in his career, hasn't he?
He certainly has. And anytime you run the blitz, you know, there's this clock that goes off on your head. And you see Adams taking a break on Sanu right there. He knows that blitz is unaccounted for. Elliott coming off the edge means I can break. I can go get that pass because I know that offense has got to throw it short.
Humphrey's back. Bajer will be kicking on 4th and 2. And it's muffed by Humphreys, but he picks it up and gets some yards. Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had the control early on. Here, early in the 2nd quarter, leading by 7. Buccaneers in front 7-0. Tomorrow, the Red Box Bowl kicks off between Oregon and Michigan State at 2:30 Eastern on Fox. Then flip over to FS1 as 17 Utah battles 22nd ranked Northwestern in the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl at 6:30 Eastern, or you can catch it all on the Fox Sports app. Well, Alabama, Clemson, I guess they were destined to be playing for the national championship. And there you see 2 pros who played at those 2 schools. 1st down. And Peyton Barber gets a couple of yards. Good field position starting for the Buccaneers. They began on the 47-yard line, and 2 punts have sandwiched the 1 touchdown drive of the game.
Start off with great field position here, and anytime you're an offense, you start off that close to your own 50-yard line, you're thinking points. There's no question we've got to get 1 first down, then we put ourselves in an opportunity to kick a field goal. So that's what Tampa Bay's thinking about right here, 2nd down and 8.
Rookie Ronald Jones in the game for the first time goes out to the right as a receiver. Winston not looking his way, and slipping was Evans. And Niesman was covering on the field. We have had a couple of players unsure of their footing so far.
Yeah, and he does. He comes out of this break. As you watch Mike Evans, he stems inside, then comes out, and he's about to hit it just in that little dig area right in front of Niesman, the safety. That's where Jameis is throwing it to. That thing pretty close to being picked off, but that one, Mike Evans just loses his footing. He's got to be in that hole.
Cameron Brate now goes as a receiver to the right, and Winston in trouble here, trying to make something happen, and he completes it to Evans. And Evans will have a first down inside the 35. Alford on the coverage, an 18-yard gain. So Evans has caught 2 passes for 19, including a TD, and this for 18.
Well, as the play breaks down, you know, Dan Quinn talked to us about this with Tampa Bay. As the play breaks down, you have to cover not once, but you have to cover twice. 2 things there. 1, the ability of Jameis Winston to manipulate the pocket to buy himself time. 2, Mike Evans changing his route to mirror the movement of the quarterback. That's what created that completion and that first down.
From the 33, and here is a keeper by Winston, and the quarterback on the read. First time we've seen that today. Gets a good yardage, gets to the 25-yard line, 2 yards shy of the first down. Check in now with Kurt Menefee for a game break.
Well, the Houston Texans need to win to wrap up the AFC South. They could do as much as wrap up home field advantage throughout the playoffs with some help. But first, they just need to win, and they wrap up the division. They're doing just that. Deshaun Watson's 5-yard score will make it a 10-3 lead over the Jaguars. Dick and Mark.
And a first down here by Peyton Barber. Houston Texans trying to do what the Bears have done, going from worst to first in their division.
I'll tell you what, Peyton Barber right now, he may not have that breakaway speed or that ability in space to make the last guy miss, but one thing he can do, man, he can move the pocket now. That dude is stout. He can move the pocket. He can put, you know, pile drive people in the briar patch and just get movement going the opposite direction.
First down. Winston fires it away. Good pressure by Bruce Irvin, former Raider, and gets up limping as he comes off the field.
Jameis Winston, you're going to see right here, that's Bruce Irvin right here, coming off the edge, goes inside, move, that spins away from the chip of the tailback Barber. Great job by quarterback Jameis Winston just getting rid of the ball, and Dan Quinn wants the intentional grounding. I do believe he was outside the tackle box.
Second down and 10, and here's Barber again, pounding it, now knocked back, but we'll see where his forward progress is, and it'll be at the 15-yard line. Devondre Campbell with the physical effort, but it'll be a 4-yard gain, bringing up third down. So we talked about the third down situations, especially with short yardage.
Yeah, and obviously forced for 6 today, but 49%. It's just they're one of the worst teams in the National Football League, both in short yardage, third down and short, also third down and long. They just have not been very efficient, and it's about being stout at line of scrimmage and disrupting the quarterback.
3rd and 5, and pressure on Winston, and he's not going to go anywhere, and that's exactly what you just talked about as far as what the Falcons need to do to get over those third down woes. That was Tack McKinley with the sack, a loss of 4 from McKinley, his 7th of the year.
Well, you get a double A gap blitz, and you're hiding, making sure everybody's one-on-one. The center, the running back's got the one-on-one, really to free up your nickel rushers off the edge. Vic Beasley, McKinley, that's what they were trying to get done, and they got it done there on third down.
Santos, 7 of 10 since joining the Buccaneers. This will be a 36-yard field goal. And Cairo Santos, who began his year with the Rams, makes good on a 36-yard field goal. And Tampa Bay is up 10-0. Jameis Winston off to a real good start. Let's see what Matt Ryan can do to answer what Winston has done effectively as the Falcons find themselves in a 10-0 hole. Well, the Buccaneers surprisingly ahead of the Falcons, 10-0. Trying to end a 3-game losing streak. There is the scoring drive, and Winston still has protected the ball very well thus far. It's amazing that the Falcons, who are getting the ball now, have a total of only 53 yards in the game. And that's unlike Matt Ryan and company.
A couple of 3-and-outs with their possessions as well. They have not been able to find a rhythm in the running game. Therefore, they have not been able to set up their play-action pass.
Marvin Hall is back, and he can return this from the 4. Good special teams coverage by Tampa Bay. Stops him at the 23. That was M.J. Stewart, rookie from the University of North Carolina. So as you just mentioned, Mark, the last 2 times, 3-and-out and a punt. This is unlike Atlanta, especially going against the Tampa Bay defense, which has been porous this year, but improved under Mark Duffner. Starting from the 23. Ryan Hill is the tailback, and it's going to be play action. And Matt Ryan on the run, and he completes the pass, first down to Calvin Ridley. Ridley's second catch of the game, gets 12 here.
Ryan, the best passer in the league outside the pocket, puts a dime out there as he's running to his left. But what you're seeing consistently, Dick, is you're seeing a too-high safety game, and you have got to be able, when they're saying we're not going to play you with a heavy box, you have got to be able to run the football in those situations. Atlanta just hasn't been able to get that done.
From the 35, and the quick goes out to Sanu. Mohamed Sanu doing his number after he gets the ball, running after the catch and getting another first down close to midfield for the Falcons. 13-yard play with McCoy, the defensive tackle, downfield.
And this is the guy you want to get involved. Just a little smoke screen right here. Mohamed Sanu. Matt Ryan told us last night, listen, he is the energy. He is the spark. And he said, look, I try to go out and find the biggest, baddest dude and pick a fight. Like, he's the guy that brings energy. He's the guy that sets the tone for this offense. Always good to get him involved because he brings them that energy.
From the 48. And the play is blown dead. There'll be a false start call against Atlanta.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They had the right tackle, Ryan Schrader, moving. So it'll be first down and 15.
And that's just the way it goes, too. You finally get a little momentum. You get a first down. You get it to your kind of your energy guy, the guy that sets the tone for you in Mohamed Sanu, and then you jump off sides. You know, it's always one of those offensive linemen, too, ruining the drive. You got to pick this thing up.
You never had that problem. That's why you can put the finger on them. That's a sack there as Ryan goes down. And it was Jason Pierre-Paul. What a season he's having. 12.5 sacks for him. 3-yard loss, and it'll be second down and more yardage to gain for Atlanta.
Constant professional, just keeps on working. He's unrelenting when it comes to effort. You see him down at the bottom of your screen. Look at him work the hands, extend the hands, then come out there. And it's not just about getting the sack. You see him swat that ball. Watch him right here. Comes in, tries to take a hack at that ball with the offhand. Jason Pierre-Paul's really set a tone and taught professionalism to this front four.
They were close to midfield, but now they're back on their 40, second down and 18. And Matt Ryan stepping up and going underneath, complete to Brian Hill, breaks one tackle, another one, and another one. As the Tampa Bay Buccaneers failing to bring down Hill, and a flag is down after the 9-yard gain after all was said and done.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 74, offense. 15-yard penalty. The down counts. Third down.
So Ty Zambrano making his 4th start in a row, called for the personal foul. They were at the 48, 49-yard line. Now they're back to their own 34, going in the opposite direction.
And Matt Ryan said one thing. There he is coming in from the right, hits Elliott. late as the pile's going down. But Matt Ryan told us one thing I don't tolerate as a leader of this football team: mental mistakes. And that is, I mean, that can't be any more of a mental mistake right there by Tyson Brylow.
They need 24 yards on third down, and going for it on one play to Julio Jones, incomplete, covered by Brent Grimes. 35-year-old Brent Grimes, some people say his play has slipped as of late, but he hasn't shown that at all. He has played big so far in this first half. And fourth down coming up, and once again the Falcons will have to kick for the fourth straight time.
Another double team over number 11, and that's going to be consistent. Run the linebacker underneath, called slooping him underneath the wide receiver. Brent Grimes stays on top, but defends that play wonderfully. Double team right there. Not many plays you can hit on third down to 24.
Humphreys back to his 10, hemmed in, and down he goes. So good coverage there after a terrific punt by Bodger, who knows how to make tackles on special teams, as we know. So NFC South rivalry. These teams have played so many times. Slim lead for the Falcons by 2 games in that series.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevy. Chevys earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, 5 NFC teams, including all 4 division winners, have clinched a playoff berth. There's still 1 spot left. The Vikings are in with a win or an Eagles loss, but the Eagles can still get in with a win and a Vikings loss. Who gets the NFC's final spot? We'll find out later this afternoon on Fox. And most of our audience here will see that NFC North battle between the Bears and the Vikings that has so much riding on it. Jameis Winston from the 12 in trouble, and a flag goes down and play will be stopped. And preliminary signal is that the penalty will be against the Falcons.
Holding. Defense number 44. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Vic Beasley. The Falcons look listless out there. Do you agree?
I do, and I'm going to give them a list. Wake up. Okay, that's number 1. And actually go out there and hit somebody and quit making so many stupid mistakes. That was 2 and 3. So there's a list you can take to that sideline and present it to your players right now, because they have done absolutely nothing in this game for Dan Quinn, and it surprises me that they've come out this way.
It's a short list, but it's an emphatic list. First down at the 17 now. And it's Jacquizz Rodgers picking up 3 yards. Second down coming up. Buccaneers scoring on a 19-yard touchdown pass from Jameis Winston to Mike Evans, capping a 93-yard drive, utilizing 6.5 minutes of the clock on the second possession of the game for Tampa Bay. 2nd and 7. Here comes pressure, and the pass caught, but shy of the first down is Godwin. Good tackle made by Desmond Trufant, saving the first down. So it'll be 3rd and short.
3rd and short. You've got that big power running back. You've already given Barber 10 carries right here. Can you push one over the top? Imperative you get another first down, because think about this. You know, Atlanta has done absolutely nothing in this heat on the offensive side of the ball. This defense is wearing out as we speak.
3rd down and 1, and the loss. Rodgers hit by Grady Jarrett. Not to be denied was Grady Jarrett having a big season for the Falcons up front. Loss of 2, and 4th down our way.
Grady Jarrett right here. Watch him on this inside swim move right here. Lowers his head, drives through the running back. Grady Jarrett is one of those elite players from a movement standpoint. Short, has a great center of, kind of a center around his body, has good balance. So center of gravity, he does a great job.
Anger's kick. Hardy backpedaling. Justin Hardy, and he'll be tackled at the 30-yard line. Well, let's see if that 3rd down stop energizes the Falcons. But first, It's game break time, and Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Dick. So the Patriots up 14-3 on the Jets. They clinched the 2 seed with the win. Actually never won a Super Bowl without a first-round bye, so this helps Brady to Philip Dorsett for this 9-yard score. Brady's 3rd touchdown of the day so far. Pats up 21-3. Dick?
Thank you, Carissa. Good note by Carissa. Never go wrong with those. So let's see how Matt Ryan responds. So far, nothing doing for the Falcon offense. They'll begin from the 30. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. And they're going to go to the run to Tevin Coleman. And Coleman gets a first down. 11 yards for Tevin Coleman. Remember, Devontae Freeman started the year, as you know, for the Falcons. Played 2 games. They've had injuries all over the place. Levitre and Fusco, the starting guards, out. And, of course, we talked about some of their defensive injuries as well. From the 41, play action. Ryan knocked down. Julio Jones surrounded by Buccaneers, especially Carlton Davis, the rookie from Auburn. Nice play by him.
Yeah, that's Auburn versus Alabama, and what you're going to see at the top of the route, you know you have help over the top. There's the help over the top, so he can drive. 33 Davis can drive underneath Julio Jones because you've got defender and a safety over the top, and that's how they're doing creative ways to double team Julio Jones to try to take him out of this game.
2nd round draft pick from Auburn, Davis. 2nd down and 10. Tevin Coleman for a couple. And winding down to the 2-minute warning, Bo Allen was there to make the play. So a 3rd down play coming up where the Falcons, Dan Quinn's team, 0 for 4 in 3rd down conversions. And but we will have a stoppage of play with the 2-minute warning here in Tampa. Final regular season game. Bucs and Falcons. And it's been all Tampa Bay thus far to the tune of 10-0.
Falcons faced with 3rd and 8 right now, and they've been in this situation 4 times, all 3rd down and long. 0 for 4 so far. You see it 3rd and 8 here. Nice tackle by Levante David. Then there's not a whole lot in your playbook for 3rd down and 24. It's just kind of chuck it up there and hope and pray. So that's the Atlanta Falcons. You know, the 3rd down issue really is a 1st and 2nd down issue. When you don't produce on 1st and 2nd down, you leave yourself in these situations, 3rd down and 8, and you see everybody pressed up here showing blitz for Tampa.
From the 43, 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Ryan's pass incomplete, and once again the Buccaneers, and it was Brent Grimes making the play on Justin Hardy. Grimes is playing an outstanding first half. 35-year-old veteran cornerback coming to play big time today, and it'll be 4th down, and now the 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions.
And all these you know, man underneath, 2 safeties over the top allows these defensive backs. You see Brett Grimes undercutting that route once again. That's just an errant throw, and there's been a couple of those by Matt Ryan today behind the wide receiver, but a nice play nonetheless by Brett Grimes.
So the Buccaneers will get the ball back, barring a turnover, and we're going to get a flag as Bajer went down. And this ball will be possibly saved before it went into the end zone, but there's going to be a penalty against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, if it's running into the kicker, it'll be 4th down and 3. If it's roughing the kicker, it'll be an automatic 1st down. That's going to be key here.
And I think they called holding.
Well, a flag went down as soon as Bajer hit the turf on the kick.
Holding, kicking team number 46. That 10-yard penalty will be assessed from the dead ball spot, which is the result of the play as a touchback. 10 yards from there, 1st down, Tampa Bay.
So the holding penalty was against the long snapper, John Kondo. That was a 57-yard kick and a touchback. Right now, let's check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Patriots try to hold on to a 1st-round bye simply by beating the Jets, while the Texans try to steal it from them as they host the Jaguars. We'll break down the playoff picture for you coming up on the Visa halftime.
All right, Kurt, looking forward to that. Getting ready for the 2nd half of our doubleheader, which are big games all. going underneath and getting the first down. Jameis Winston hitting Adam Humphries. Made the catch and then ran for the first down up to the 45, picking up 15 yards.
Plenty of time on the clock for Jameis Winston, his Buccaneers offense with 3 timeouts.
Winston, and that pass will be called incomplete. Cameron Brate, the tight end, first time they've gone to him today, and Niesman defending.
Good pressure in the middle of the field right here. Grady Jarrett coming inside, hitting Jameis Winston, causing the errant throw over the middle to Brate. He had Brate too. Brate was open, but that's the kind of pressure that disrupts quarterbacks. Grady Jarrett's been in the backfield pretty much all day long.
Buccaneers, though, have avoided mistakes thus far with a 10-0 lead. Second down and 10. And there's time, and the pass is caught by Godwin. Chris Godwin. And many of the receptions today by the Buccaneers have been to receivers who were wide open. 25 yards, and threatening again is Tampa Bay. Under a minute to go. And right now they are in field goal range. And still with 3 timeouts left. And Winston going to the end zone, and it's caught. Signal, touchdown, Chris Godwin. "30-yard throw from Jameis Winston. After Godwin caught one earlier, he goes deep here."
Beautiful throw by Jameis Winston. Starts up front with the time. You're playing a cover 2 right here. You hold that safety in the middle of the field by running the tight end down the seam. And here's Godwin right down the sideline. Gets both feet in, secures the ball. Wonderful design right there by Monken, the offensive coordinator, to tie up that safety in the middle of the field so he can't get over and help on Godwin for the touchdown.
Here's Santos looking to give the Buccaneers a 17-0 lead. And the kick is good. So Godwin with his 6th touchdown catch of the year, and Winston has thrown 2 TD tosses, now has 17 on the year. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing terrific football on both sides of the ball. Lead at 17-0, and we'll be right back after this message from State Farm. And what a game for Jameis Winston. Took only 56 seconds. 70 yards, completing 3 out of 4, and Godwin catching 2 of them, and a 17-0 Tampa Bay lead.
And how good has Jameis Winston been throwing the balls outside the number all season long? Outside the numbers, the deep ball down the sideline, exceptionally accurate. In the middle of the field sometimes, that's where he struggles, but 2 great sideline throws for touchdowns so far today.
And Atlanta will take it out at the 25-yard line. Carissa Thompson has a game break. Carissa.
Thanks so much, Dick. So the Texans up 10-3 on the Jags. They clinch the AFC South with a win. Sean Watson hands it off to Lamar Miller, who does the rest. Texans up 17-3. Dick?
Thank you, Carissa. As Bill O'Brien's team taking control in this 17th game of the year. See what Matt Ryan does. Remember, Atlanta will get the second half kickoff, but trailing 17-0.
46 seconds for Matt Ryan. This is an eternity with 3 timeouts.
First pass caught, and going out of bounds is Mohamed Sanu. It'll be second down and 2 coming up now. 42 seconds on the clock.
And this is exactly what Tampa's going to make you do. They're playing that underneath coverage, those 2 safeties over the top, making sure they don't give any big plays up over the top. They're going to make you nickel and dime them down the field to see if you can get into field goal range.
Ryan gets time, and a catch is made by Austin Hooper, the tight end, into Buccaneer territory at the 47. They get 20 yards on that toss.
Little flat sail combination. See the back down here holding the underneath coverage, and they just go to the corner to Hooper. Beautiful throw, and Matt Ryan has not had Like, that's the kind of throw that can get you back on track, because he's been off target, especially in the middle, intermediate range throws today.
Falcons with their first timeout, and they'll have a first down on the 47 of Tampa Bay. Want to remind you again, coming up on the Visa halftime report, we have Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony in our studios, bringing you up to date. But you're absolutely right when you said that Matt Ryan has an eternity, considering the timeouts and the clock, the way he operates.
Yeah.
Biggest enemy is the clock, no question, with 35 seconds left. Ryan has time, and the catch is made, and going out of bounds, stopping the clock inside the 30 is Austin Hooper. Second straight reception by him. Add 19 yards more to the Falcons total.
And Levante David, linebacker, out there in the flat. There's no reason to hug up to the running back. Let him complete it to the running back underneath. You have got to get depth to take away the corner. That's 2 corner routes in a row to Austin Hooper that you haven't covered, that you haven't got enough depth on the underneath coverage.
4 catches, 66 yards thus far for Hooper. And first down, and going underneath to Tevin Coleman. Good tackle made at the 20-yard line by Andrew Adams. He'll get 9, however.
Dick, this is where mistakes are made. The situational football aspect. You've got to understand what they're trying to do to you. Give yourself the best opportunity to stop that, and they haven't been able to get that done.
Well, they stopped the clock with their second timeout, leaving them with 1. And it'll be second down and 1, but now 24 seconds showing. They're in field goal range. Dan Quinn has Matt Bryant ready to go, but he's looking to get 7 here.
With that one timeout, your whole field is open right now, Dick. You can throw it to the sidelines. You can throw it in the middle of the field. You can put it anywhere. You can take a couple shots at the end zone here on second down, but this whole field is open to you with that timeout. So 24 seconds, still plenty of time for Matt Ryan to operate.
And Julio Jones comes on the scene. He's in the game now. Second down and 1. Ryan stepping up, throws, touchdown, Julio Jones. Enters stage left and catches a touchdown pass. So he had 1 touchdown early in the year in the first 8 games. He now has 7 touchdowns in the last 8 games. Coming on strong. The role model of this team, and a touchdown for Atlanta.
Watch Julio Jones come out here, fake to the outside, and then get back to the inside. Look at the top of the route right here. Uses his head at the top of the stem, stabs the defensive back, and just takes it back into the touchdown. Isaiah Johnson biting on that, giving up the touchdown.
Matt Bryant adds the extra point. 19-yard touchdown pass to Jones. So they went 75 yards in 26 seconds, and Ryan threw for 75 yards in the process, so he made it look easy there, and Atlanta back in the game.
And remember, now they get the ball coming back out in the second half, so this is one of those double up situations. You finally kind of woke up from your slumber here as an offense. You put the ball in the air. Matt Ryan accurately delivered the football, especially the sideline, and now you're going into the locker room with a little bit of halftime momentum.
And does Julio Jones get it done against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Most receiving yards per game against a single opponent. Nearly 120 yards against the Buccaneers. And, Matt Ryan has also feasted on this Tampa Bay club. The Falcons have won the last 4 games between these teams, including that 34-29 wild game in Week 6 in Atlanta.
9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for Matt Ryan in those 4 games. They've been his personal good thing here when Matt Ryan plays Tampa.
Bobo Wilson from the corner of the end zone makes the turn, and good hustle by Marvin Hall of the Falcons, preventing even more damage there. 11 seconds. How about Matt Bodger last week? How about this? Talk about big hits. Here's one coming up.
This was him last week. He had the big hit. This week he's like, come on, come on, come on, come on. Maybe not so much. Just be careful about messing around, getting involved in a football game when you're a punter. He had a great one last week, but
yes,
he knows. He knows. I talked to him today on the sideline. He knows.
11 seconds to go. And Winston trying to get into field goal range, and the completed pass. Pass is caught at the 47 by Godwin, who already has a touchdown grab and a timeout.
Boy, how about this? I mean, Godwin getting a good release here at the top, cutting inside, and beautiful on the money by Winston. But how about the aggressiveness with what, 24 seconds left, 25 seconds left, and shooting one down the football field? 4 seconds now on the clock, or I think there was less time than that.
They still have 3 timeouts remaining. Right now, the field goal for Cairo Santos would be 64 yards from this point.
You got to just push one down to the end zone here.
I think it's Hail Mary time. And here's Winston into the end zone. And it is knocked away incomplete. And it was Niesman who knocked it away. And that will do it for halftime. And the plays of the first half is presented by DirecTV. More for your thing. That's our thing. The touchdown passes. And this was Jameis Winston going to Mike Evans. And then to Godwin. It was 17-0 before Matt Ryan came back strong with a touchdown pass of his own to Julio Jones. And that's the play of the first half.
And I tell you what, so impressed with Jameis Winston, the big plays. We talked about this big play offense, their ability to push it down the field. 71 explosive plays, 20-plus yard plays on the season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They make 2 touchdowns on explosive plays.
Biggest story for them, no mistakes. No mistakes, only 1 penalty, and no fumbles or interceptions. So we now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime, which starts now. And that was today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. Falcons getting the ball to start the third quarter, trailing the Buccaneers 17-7. Marvin Hall, and they'll take it out at the 25. Well, it'll be interesting to see, Mark, whether the great stop by Grady Jarrett and the quick touchdown by Ryan jump starts what has been, kind of a slow Atlanta game so far.
Right. Well, it was a really inconsistent half for Matt Ryan, the quarterback, as far as accuracy is concerned. But you saw that last touchdown drive, 75 yards, started throwing the ball on a dime. Does that get him back into a rhythm and kind of solve this Tampa Bay defense that's been very good so far? That's what they're looking for.
From the 25. Ryan, first pass to Julio Jones, pushed out of bounds. Let's send it down to Jen Hale.
Dick, Dan Quinn frustrated. It took his offense an entire half to get going, but to Mark's point, he says that no huddle, 2-minute hurry-up offense is what finally flipped the switch, and yes, you can expect to see more of it this half since it's working so well. Also, Tevin Coleman been nursing and trying to manage that groin injury on the sideline. Expect him to be used only in critical situations this half.
All right, and he gets a first down. Jen, thank you for the Falcons. Rhymes making the tackle after a gain of 8 yards. Ryan so far has thrown for only 157 yards. Winston for 210. Normally you see that at least reversed.
Yeah, and for me, and you look at Atlanta, what you'd like to see is them getting back to kind of their identity. Some wide zone handoff, run the ball, set up your play action to push it down the field. That's what they need to do.
Play fake, and Ryan trying to ad-lib and finally says just throw it away. nothing developed, and Ryan pointing downfield. Good pressure by Vita Vea, the very impressive rookie from the University of Washington, making a name for himself. And Ryan told us last night that he was slow starting when they first met, but he's come on big as a rookie on the defensive line.
Yeah, McCoy also. Joe McCoy said, you know, this is a kid that all of a sudden realized at some point, hey, man, I'm 6'5", 360, and I'm an athlete. Like, I can dominate the line of scrimmage.
From the 37, 2nd and 10, and the quick going out to Russell Gage, the rookie receiver, pushed out of bounds by Carlton Davis. Flag is down. Been only one penalty called against Tampa Bay so far in this game. Atlanta's been hit by 5.
I wonder if that's going to be a little late push out of bounds right there as the referees huddle up.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask. Defense, number 33. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
So it was on Davis. Face mask.
Well, here's Davis right here. Okay, he gets the hold of the face mask. You see that on Gage. And then Levante David comes out here. Yeah, he's pretty close.
And as a result, 7 yards plus 15, 22-yard penalty. And all of a sudden, Matt Ryan and company march down to the Buccaneer 41.
One penalty throughout the first half would have been an issue for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now they start this first drive with a big-time 15-yard penalty.
Here's Jeremy Langford. Maybe a yard, and JPP coming up to make the play quickly.
JPP he's an interesting guy. You know, he's a tall, lanky dude, and he does such a great job. Watch his hands here. Standing up the offensive tackle. Look at him extend those hands. He plays with great leverage from a low to high plane. He actually lifts people kind of almost off the ground. That gives him the ability to shed and make plays. They thought they were getting, Dirk Cutter said, we thought we were getting a pass rusher. We got a complete football player when we traded for JPP.
And he showed it in the last play, defending the run well. 2nd down and 10. And on the design rollout, it'll be Matt Ryan, and very close to the first down. That yellow line is not official, but they're right on that. Levante David was defending, and it will be a first down for the Falcons. They were trailing 17-0 before, as you mentioned, that Matt Ryan in less than a half a minute with a 70-yard drive, and Dan Quinn's team looking to capture their 3rd straight win to end a disappointing year. Now at the 31. Jeremy Langford, been with a lot of teams, drafted originally by the Bears, but he makes a good run of about 6 yards on first down. And getting up is Carlton Davis, and shaken up, and he's going to have to come out of the game.
Matt Ryan does a phenomenal job at the line of scrimmage. You watch them as an offense, and that time, if you watch him, he touches his helmet, and he calls can, meaning I'm going to a different play here, and he does that consistently to put them in good, not only pass looks, but run looks.
Ryan Smith will come into the game for Davis. Comes off the field for the Buccaneers. Timeout early, 2nd quarter, 10-point Tampa Bay lead.
Today's game is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you.
That's Carlton Davis, and Jen Hale reports the right ankle injury for the rookie from Auburn.
And this is what happens. You know, you get into a pile right here, and Bo Allen rolls up on that ankle. You see that right ankle underneath big Bo Allen. Just a heap of player right there, twisting up that ankle.
2nd down and 3 from the 24. And Ryan's pass, it'll be a first down to Sanu. As the Falcons marching, they started from the 25-yard line. The 9th play of the drive is coming up. 7-yard gain. And there is Julio Jones, and he has really set an example. He's been not practicing most of the week, but playing hurt. And there is Ryan going up on top. Incomplete to Jones, and Ryan Smith So they wanted to work on Smith, who just came into the game for the injured Carlton Davis. Pass is incomplete.
Didn't look back either. He's man-to-man right down here on the bottom of the screen. Now watch him play the hands of Julio Jones. Doesn't even look back for the ball. Just when Julio sticks his hands out there to catch it, watch Ryan Smith. He goes to swat the hand, swat the ball away, make sure that he can't grasp that ball. Wonderfully played by Ryan Smith, playing the hands of the wide receiver.
Jones goes out of the game, 2nd down and 10. Russell Gage comes on in, and the handoff to Tevin Coleman, and a terrific defensive play by Vita Vea, stopping for no gain Tevin Coleman, and it'll be 3rd down and long coming up for the Falcons.
Well, Vita Vea just right here. Vita Vea, and watch him extend, and this is where he's big. Extend, push back. I mean, Vita Vea, that's like trying to block a tree trunk. I mean, he is so short, so stout. Well, he's not short, he's 6'5", but you know, in football parlance, he's kind of short, stocky, stout. Extends his hands right there. You can't move him an inch, and he's been playing with great violence here in about the last 5 or 6 weeks, something he was missing when he's coming out of Washington.
Well, they bring Julio Jones back in on 3rd down and 10. And here's the pass, and it's going to be caught by Jones, fighting for the 1st down yardage. And let's see if he has it. He does. Julio Jones battling after the catch for a 1st down just outside the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, battling JV and Elliott, who's trying to keep him away.
And this is why you love Julio Jones, right? The effort. He's battling multiple injuries, sees it, stiff arm, fights for every yard. Like, there's no reason for Julio Jones to want to play in this game, right? They're not going anywhere. He's been banged up. He's had injuries all season long, and yet he sets a tempo for this football team. I'm not a diva. I'm not above the rest of the team. I'm going to play hurt.
Taking a breather here on 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. And here is Matt Ryan giving ground, and finally just throws it away. No one in the neighborhood for Ryan, and he did the smart thing there to bring up 2nd and goal.
Trying to set up the screen down here on the bottom is what they're trying to do, is, you know, and really Tampa Bay had it well defensed. They're rolling the quarterback out to the right-hand side, trying to set up a little dump off to the running back. They figured it out. They saw it coming. Good job by Matt Ryan. It took about all his energy to get that ball clear across the field out of bounds.
And Ryan lines up as a receiver to the left in a wildcat. Mohamed Sanu getting ready for the direct snap. There he is, and it's Jeremy Langford on the run, and Langford maybe a yard on the play. Levante David, and so the Buccaneers really diagnosed that perfectly, and they hold Langford to a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, and you're reading it right here. Sanu, he's the quarterback. He's reading this defensive end. He sees them basically play into the inside there to Sanu, gives it, but I'm telling you what, stabbing that end of the line of scrimmage, being able to shuffle down the line of scrimmage and making that play on the running back Langford.
Now Julio Jones comes back in. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 5. Crowd looking for a stop here, and there is a flea flicker, and the pass is going to be caught by Matt Ryan for the touchdown. And it was Mohamed Sanu, who was a quarterback in high school, and in Rutgers he actually played safety, you name it, he played it. And look at the smile on Matt Ryan's face as he caught the touchdown pass from Mohamed Sanu. Trickery here in the final game, and the Falcons draw closer.
Oh, I'm telling you what, the handoff, Sanu coming around, Matt Ryan going. I mean, I got lines all over the place, but this is that trick play, that Philly special type of play. And Mohamed Sanu has been so, he put it out there. Now, he tested his quarterback. I want to see what kind of hands you have. You've held me out to dry a few times.
Matt Ryan with the extra point, and the kick is good. So the Falcons go 75 yards on the first possession of the second half. So the Philadelphia native comes up with a Philly special of his own, and he winds up on the flea flicker from the end around with a touchdown reception. And the Buccaneer lead has been cut to 17-14 over Atlanta. Well, at 17-14, it wasn't Ryan to Sanu, it was Sanu to Ryan. A little switch going on here as Sanu now 7 of 8 as a passer in his NFL career. 4 touchdown passes now. Old hat to him, partner.
Yeah, what happened on the one he threw incomplete? Like, I mean, we gotta get after Sanu on that. Matt Ryan told us you're not a quarterback until you have at least one incompletion. So Sanu playing quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons.
Little fun here in this last game, but for the Falcons and the Buccaneers who want to win a division game, it tightens the screws here, 17-14, and Tampa Bay will take it out at the 25-yard line. Let's see that Philly special.
Yeah, how about it? You've got Sanu on the outside. You got Calvin Ridley in the backfield right here. Watch as Matt Ryan escapes after the handoff to the corner, and he gives it to Ridley right here. Wonderful route. Now watch this. I mean, that's fingertips right there. That's a pretty good athletic play. I mean, I think Tom Brady would have dropped that one.
No.
I'm going to say he would have dropped that one, not Matt Ryan. Good hands by Matt Ryan.
You know, our last game last year was Detroit and Green Bay, and Matthew Stafford caught a touchdown pass in a Philly special. Peyton Barber. Look at this run by Barber. Looked like he was trapped behind the line of scrimmage. You pointed this out earlier, but he really has tremendous effort here. Gets 9 at the end of it all.
Just tremendous power. An inside little gap spin off of 2 defenders. Stiff arm there. Breaks 2 more tackles. Keeps his legs driving. That's what they need right here. They just need to have a grind out drive because they've had back-to-back scores given up to Atlanta on their last 2 possessions. Grind it out, eat up some clock.
Barber has 49 yards. He's averaged 4.5 yards a carry. And here's Evans with the pass, catch. And here's Evans going up the middle and now to the sideline, out of bounds. A big gain on a short pass to Evans. And a 33-yard pickup by Tampa Bay, responding in a hurry.
Well, just a little smoke screen right here, but watch the big hog mollies get out here in front. Marpet opens up the block, and there goes Evans. And watch him release here. Look at these guys down here. Jensen, Marpet, really nice blocks on the outside. That's a hard thing to do when you're out there in space because you're exposed as a non-athlete. Offensive linemen, worst athletes on the football field. They're still exceptional athletes, but when you're trying to block linebackers and defensive backs, really tough.
Brian Poole will come off the field. So as you saw, Evans only 4 yards away from another 100-yard game. So an injury timeout with just under 8 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Brian Poole, who's had a big year with 3 interceptions and 3 sacks, including a pick last week. Went to college just up the road at the University of Florida. Winners over Michigan in their bowl battle.
I think one thing that Jameis has done a really good job of since he's come back late here in the season is distributing the football. 6 to 7 weeks, 4 players on this offense with at least 6 targets.
Isaiah Oliver replaces Poole. First down. Winston, 2 defenders in his face, and fires it and throws it away. Jen Hale with some information on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Dick, at halftime, Dirk Cutter was applauding Jameis Winston's decision-making in that first half. Thinks it was a real difference maker. Feels like he played like a smart veteran instead of some of the mistakes we've seen earlier. Cutter's words of wisdom to his team. He loves the big plays, but focus on the little ones. The short yardage ones matter too. Don't just go for the star plays all the time.
Good point. Winston and Fitzpatrick, 25 interceptions between them, most in the league. Handoff to Barber. Barber has been a monster in this game. And Campbell making the play. 6 yards for Peyton Barber. Third down coming up. They'll bring in Rodgers. Good receiver out of the backfield as Barber goes out of the game.
For a little guy, too, he's a short guy, but he's a good blitz pickup guy. He understands the offense. He's a guy that you want in that backfield in these situations to protect Jameis, also give him an outlet.
Former Falcon, playing with Tampa Bay for several years. Third down and 4. Here comes pressure on Winston. Winston's pass, and Brate can't hold on to it. Pass is incomplete. Fourth down coming up, and Santos will come on to try a field goal. But first, game break with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Dick. So the Patriots up 21-3. They can still clinch that 1 seed with a win and losses by the Chiefs and the Chargers. With Sam Darnold sacked, fumbled, recovered by Kyle Van Noy. Goes 46 yards for the score. It's up 28-3. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
All right, Carissa, thank you very much. And Santos will attempt a 45-yard field goal. Already made one today. Trying to stop the Falcons surge here with a three-pointer. And Santos kick. And the kick is good. So after giving up 14 unanswered points, the Buccaneers get a field goal and lead by 6 with 6:39 to go in the third. And you saw the Philly special from the Philly quarterback as a passer and as a receiver. He's coming back with his gang on the field after our break.
This game is sponsored by the Ford F-Series. Built Ford tough, built Ford proud. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, the Buccaneers not fazed by those 2 touchdowns by the Falcons at the end of the second quarter, and here in the third on their first possession get 3 out of it. And Santos kicking to that man, Marvin Hall. Buccaneers looking to end a 3-game losing streak and finish 6-10 on the year. Falcons would be 7-9 with a victory here and would officially finish in second place in the division. And it's Hall. Yard in the end zone. Breaking one. And a good tackle made, upending Hall, looking for more yardage by Isaiah Johnson. Philly special to Matt Ryan.
I bet his heart almost stopped right there for a second.
And speaking of Philly specials, Mark, will it be Foles magic once again? Big games coming up in the second half of our Fox doubleheader. Vikings within a win or an Eagle loss for the last playoff spot. Eagles can get in with a win and a Viking loss. So who will get that final spot in the NFC? It all will unfold later on today. From the 27-yard line, play action. And on the catch is Mohamed Sanu. And Sanu goes out of bounds, but not before he gets a first down to the 41.
So easy right there on the boot keep, and Matt is so good. Matt Ryan's so good outside the pocket. One of the reasons is you watch him snap his head around. He gets his head snapped around, picks out his receiver, puts it on the hands of Sanu outside the pocket, just getting your body in a position to actually throw the football. Matt does a wonderful job of that.
14-yard gain there. And Brian Hill with a first down there. And a flag flies in from the secondary. Be an 11-yard gain pending this call.
Holding. Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That was the right tackle, Ryan Schrader. So there've been some juggling, as we mentioned, in the offensive line for Atlanta today.
Well, here he is right here, and he's putting his hands up like what? Well, I'll show you exactly what. Watch him sift through here. Now watch him bear hug. That's just straight up bear hugging Levante David right there. And I don't know why you're complaining. You get your hands outside the body frame like that, you hug him up, you're going to get called. How about the finish, though, by Brian Hill at the end of this run, dropping his shoulder and running over Adams. Man, that is a collision right there.
He raced an 11-yard pickup and a nifty play by Hill. First down and 16. Ryan trying to get some of it back, and he does with the completion to Russell Gage, the rookie. And time for Carissa Thompson and a game break. Carissa.
Thanks, Dick. So Dallas locked into that 4 seed in the NFC when Dak Prescott buying time connects with Blake Jarwin for this score. Jarwin's third of the day. Giants would add a touchdown and the 2-point conversion's good. Cowboys still up in this one, 21-18. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
All right, Carissa, thank you very much. Cowboys clinched that number 4 seed. They'll play either the Vikings or the Seahawks next week. They got 7 of those 16 yards back. And here's a quick one to Ridley. Trying to get the first down yardage. Collides with a defender, and he may have enough. He had to get into Buccaneer territory, and he might have. Flag is down, though.
I think we're going to get Hooper on the outside with another holding call. reminiscent of the first half, or the first several drives of the first half.
Holding. Offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's it. They hurt. After you get the first down, they really hurt.
Yeah, and you're getting out here, you're on the edge, you're blocking. You have to understand, you see the hands outside, the grab of the jersey right there on Grimes. Now he lets it go, but he lets it go late. First off, you keep your hands inside underneath the armpits of the defender. The refs can't see that. You have to understand how to hold in this league. You get outside in space like that, and you're just telegraphing it to everybody.
You could write a book.
I certainly could. It'd be a short book. Grab them inside, don't let go.
I got it.
The end.
Second down and 14. Delayed handoff to Hill, but the Bucs are there, led by Gerald McCoy. Interesting story with McCoy. Not going to the Pro Bowl for the first time in 7 seasons, and you wonder whether this might be his last game at home in his career.
Watch him get the slip outside here. Just double hand slip in the inside, meets the back in the backfield. A guy that big shouldn't be able to move that exceptionally well. Side to side, lateral quickness, making a play. He's been the consummate professional here in Tampa Bay, one of the great guys we have in this league.
They've had great defenses, but he's the current great defensive player. And there's Ryan going downfield, and the pass is caught by Sanu. Going to Sanu, and a big gain into Buccaneer territory. So despite the penalty to Hooper, they always have that big play, 27 yards on this one.
Just a crossing route over the top here, and they're playing a cover 3, but they run the safety deep off the ball, and they run that crossing route to Sanu underneath, and that is perfect. You see 11, that's Julio Jones running deep, running that safety off, and you're just running number 12, Mohamed Sanu, underneath that, beautifully executed by Ryan to pick up that first down.
5 catches, leads the Falcon receivers, and a first down. And again, it's going to be play action. He's got time, and he's going into the end zone. Double coverage, and unable to make the play is Austin Hooper. He got his hands on the ball. 2 Buccaneers were down there with him, including Isaiah Johnson and Andrew Adams.
And that's a throwback. That's a design throwback play by Steve Sarkisian, and they do a great job. When you watch Hooper, they're getting all this action out here, so they're getting all these routes to go this way, and then they're sneaking Hooper back the opposite way, and that's exactly how you get that. You get that action out there. Now it's a throwback to Hooper, beautifully designed. Should have been a touchdown.
Second down on the 34. Here's Brian Hill. Hill getting a couple of yards. Hooper had his hands on it, Mark.
Yeah, you put your hands on it. You got to be able to catch that football. You can't throw it any better than that. And Hooper down there, look at that. The hand of the defensive back on early still. Isaiah Johnson, 39, getting his hand a little bit early there, but you've got to come away with that. A great design. You hate that as an offensive, quarterback and a coordinator. You design a great play. You get the one-on-one matchup you want, and you just can't quite execute.
They're down and 8. About a 50-yard field goal for Matt Bryant from this point. Bryant's looking for the first down yardage. Flag is down as he flips it to Hooper. Hooper makes the catch. Well shy of the first down. Brad Allen.
It's going to be an illegal motion.
Illegal shift on the offense. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is 4th down.
Never got set on the motion on the outside. Calvin Ridley never sets his feet before the ball is snapped.
So 4th down and 6.
Top set, you see it right here. He just never gets set. The ball snapped. Flag comes out.
So Dan Quinn's Falcons. Field goal try coming up by Matt Bryant. It'll be a 49-yard attempt. He missed one this season. That was at Green Bay, a 53-yarder. So here's 43-year-old Matt Bryant, and the kick is good. So the Falcons, again, come within 3 of the Buccaneers. It's 20-17 in the waning moments of this 3rd quarter.
This game is sponsored by Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Buccaneer lead is 20-17. Matt Ryan very sharp on that drive with just one incompletion, and that was Hooper unable to hold on to what would have been a touchdown play. Bobo Wilson is back deep for the Buccaneers. Wilson running it out. And he's down by contact. Gets past the 25-yard line to the 26. Matt Ryan on that previous third down play that enabled the kicker to come on thanks to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and here's Matt Ryan. I mean, he said, listen, physical mistakes are going to happen. I can tolerate those. It's the mental mistakes that I can't tolerate. And here's one of those mental mistakes, and we've seen this consistently out of the offense today. Matt Ryan absolutely furious with his wide receivers not understanding where they're supposed to be.
He said he's a lot more patient, but not tolerant. He doesn't like to let things slide and doesn't want you to make the same mistake twice. First down. And Barber, seems like Barber is getting extra yards after he's hit on almost every play. 5-yard pickup.
Well, as I mentioned to start this game, this is a defense that has not defended the run very well at all. Over 1,000 yards in their last 7 games. And you see Barber writhing on in pain right there on the field, but he's had a very productive day.
So Barber is shaken up. Rodgers and rookie Ronald Jones are the other 2 running backs that the Buccaneers have. And we'll take a timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds. So finally getting up is Peyton Barber. And he'll be coming out. Barber, 60 yards on 13 carries. His longest run from scrimmage was 9. And Jacquizz Rodgers will replace him in the lineup. Going back to Jen Hale's report after talking to Dirk Cutter at halftime, this team coming into the game, 34 turnovers, the most in the league. Of that, 25 interceptions, also the most in the league, and so far they have been very clean with their play today. Second down and 5.
Ready.
Davis shaken up earlier. Winston. And the pass is going to be picked off, believe it or not, on deflection. So it was Damontae KZ, with his 7th interception of the year, deflected by Desmond Trufant. So after talking about a mistake-free game for the Buccaneers, an interception is thrown on the deflection.
And think about this, Dick. 2 games this season where the Buccaneers have been clean in the giveaway department with 0 giveaways. You know what? 2-0 in those games. Here we go, the first turnover of the game, the first interception of the game. It was Poole. Poole was looking for a Falcon fan. There he goes. He goes there. No, it's a Tampa fan still.
Poole getting in the act, but it was KZ who made the interception. First down at the 43. Here's Matt Ryan. And the pass caught by Julio Jones. Gain of 15.
Yeah, and you go back to the turnover right here. I mean, it was a well-thrown ball. The protection is good. Just a play-action pass, puts it right on the receiver. And Trufant does a good job of getting his hand in there on Mike Evans. You see the hand coming over the top, doesn't interfere. Really nicely done by Trufant.
And the ball hit the ground. Pass is incomplete. And you know, you wonder about an interception and you blame it on the quarterback. Mike Evans was right to him. Like you said, it was a well-thrown ball, and those deflections have it. Yet, you know, another turnover for Jameis
But
Winston.
Yeah, but here's the issue, Dick. I mean, I understand that you're a big play offense. You can throw it over the top of the football field, but you're playing one of the worst defenses as far as stopping the run is concerned, and you've been pile driving them, and you just want to get away from it because you want to make those big plays, and that to me is on coaching.
Their number one running back was knocked out of the game, and there's movement, and flag is down. Jason Pierre-Paul came storming in.
Offside, defense number 90, unimpeded to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
So it'll be second down. The Falcons have the ball in Tampa Bay territory. They have scored the last 3 times they've had the ball dating back to the end of the first half.
I know it was a penalty, but look at Sanu right here. He's like, the whistle's blown, you throw it over the ball on a slant route, just go out there and stab it for him. I mean, the play was over. Just go ahead and show your skill set. I'll throw touchdowns. I'll make one-handed catches as well.
He does it. 2nd and 5. Kevin Coleman with a good burst, breaks a tackle, breaks 2 tackles, and scores a touchdown. So all of a sudden, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers committing a penalty and then missing tackles. And the Falcons have taken a 23-20 lead on a 23-yard run by Tevin Coleman.
Just a wide zone handoff. Watch the point of attack right over Austin Hooper driving the ball, and this is why you continue to run the ball even when you have big play wide receivers. You can take a page out of Atlanta's book and put it in your book, Tampa.
Matt Bryant with the extra point. And so, with 44 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Atlanta Falcons take the lead for the first time in this game, 24-20. They were down 17-0 at one point, but the Falcons have come back big.
Coming off the ball, and you know, one of the things we used to say all the time, you get defenders, you get multiple defenders in the same hole. You know, several behinds don't fit in one hole, and you get a bunch of guys jumping to the outside. Nobody's defending the cutback. You had 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneer defenders outside the widest man, and the cutback by Coleman for the touchdown.
That was his 4th touchdown rushing of the year, has more as a receiver, so 9 overall. There you see what they've done the last 3 games, running the ball better, and once again, keep in mind that Devontae Freeman has been out since the 2nd game. So taking advantage of that interception by DeMonte Casey. First turnover of the game, and the Falcons capitalize. Bodger. Wilson. And it sails out of the end zone on a bounce. And the Bucs will start from the 25. Falcons were down 17-0 at one point, and then they went to work.
They did go to work over the top. Julio Jones, beautiful route at the top of that thing. Then a little Philly special right here. Trickeration down in the red zone. And then, you know, you live by the big play. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to die by the big play eventually. That's what happens at Tampa Bay. And then look at the hole in the cutback run on the 18 handoff to Coleman.
So Coleman doing his job, and he's a free agent after this year. Meanwhile, Peyton Barber back in the game. And Peyton Barber on the pitch on first down. Does what he's done throughout this game, and that is get good yardage. Gets it up to the 31-yard line, pickup of 6.
I don't know about you, but where I come from, 2nd and 4 is a wonderful place to be. I actually love 2nd down and 4, and this is the time. Listen, Atlanta's played a ton of plays on defense. They've had to defend the whole first half in this heat. Wear them down. Single high safety, 8-man box, I don't care. Wear them down.
Trying to do just that. And it'll be 3rd down and short as the final seconds tick off in the third quarter. Niesman was there to make the play. That is the end of the third quarter here in Tampa. Who will win this division matchup in Week 17? The Falcons lead the Bucs 24-20. And we begin the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, and Jen Hale. Atlanta leads 24-20, and they started that comeback on that last series of the first half when Matt Ryan drove him in less than a half a minute, 70 yards to get the touchdown. And they haven't stopped since, other than a field goal by Cairo Santos. It's been all Atlanta since then. But the Buccaneers have a 3rd down and 4 from the 31. Jameis Winston, tale of two halves for sure. And knocking it down, incomplete, and a terrific play by Robert Alford saved the first down. Godwin, the intended receiver, and the Bucs will have to kick.
Yeah, great hand fighting right here. Line of scrimmage, stab him, attack the football. He has been challenged by the coaching staff. They have been alternating him with Oliver, the rookie out of Colorado. So he has been really challenged. Really nice job by Alford there.
Alford leading the Falcons in penalties this year. Justin Hardy, fair catch at the 25. Well, coming up later today on Fox, key games in the NFC will decide the playoff field. No one wants to face Seattle in January as they try to secure the number 5 seed. Will the Eagles earn the right to defend their Super Bowl title? They need a win and a Vikings loss. The Rams can lock up a first-round bye with a win or a Bears loss as they host the 49ers. If they lose, the Bears can sneak in and snag the bye. The bye, as they say in Chicago. Vikings are also in with a win. Wild card weekend starts in just 6 days, but in a lot of ways the playoffs are starting right after this game on Fox with Bears, Vikings, Eagles, Redskins. First down at the 25. Play action for Ryan, and Ryan is deep. Julio Jones is there, makes the catch to the 37-yard line as the Buccaneers were late getting over to Jones. And finally, Isaiah Johnson made the play, and the big play, and the biggest of the game for the Falcons, 37 yards.
Call this a stutter go right here. Watch Julio Jones man-to-man down here on the bottom. Now watch the stutter. Watch Ryan Smith. Oh gosh, there he goes over the top. Julio Jones protecting the ball because he knows he's going to get hit by Johnson. Watch him pull it close to his body, rotate his back toward the defender. Oh my gosh, that's Julio Jones at his best.
3 yards away from 100 once more. And the pitch to Jeremy Langford, cutting upfield and picking up 2 yards. Carissa Thompson will have a game break for us. Take it away, Carissa.
Thanks, Dick. So the Saints trailing 30-0 at the Panthers. They've already clinched that first-round bye, and Teddy Bridgewater, making his first start in 3 years, connects with Traquan Smith for this 9-yard score. Saints still trailing 30-7. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
All right, thank you very much, Carissa. The drama coming closer. The Saints clinching first-round bye and home field advantage. Second down and 8. Langford for a couple of yards. Boy, have the NFC South, the mighty certainly have fallen. Last year, 3 teams made the playoffs from that division, including Atlanta with Carolina and New Orleans. This year, 3 teams will end up with losing records in the NFC South.
That's just a testament to parity in the National Football League, isn't it? How hard it is to win in this league.
Yep. Changes year to year, too, dramatically. Last to first for Houston and Chicago. Julio Jones got a short breather. He's back in now, 3rd down and 7. Falcons on the Bucs 35-yard line. Ryan off balance, completes the pass to Jones, and a first down. Get your rest, Julio. Go out for a play and then come back in. And the 10th 100-yard game of the season for Julio Jones right here.
They're just in a stack. First up, first out, first in. Jones, the first in guy, settles down because he sees they're playing zone. But this is what I like, the finish. You know you're going to get hit. Knife in there. Find yourself some yardage. Get yourself that first down.
9 yards. And he sets the Falcon record for most 100-yard games in a season receiving. First down on the 26. Here's Brian Hill, and good defensive play made that time by Darius Taylor, the middle linebacker. No gain.
Boy, you're not kidding, too. Coming from the inside, just watch and listen to the contact right here. Just right there. Bam. Beautiful. Head across the bow. Slide across the top. Matt Ryan on the play action.
And there is Logan Paulson calling his number for the first time today. And he'll give the Falcons a 1st and goal.
How good is Matt Ryan outside the pocket? One of the things it does for him, too, when he gets out there, you get away from all that traffic, all those big bodies on the inside, get those crossing routes going, find your receivers, the underneath receivers. It's just a masterful job he does in the play action and what Sark has been able to accomplish here with this Falcons offense.
321 yards for Ryan through the air. And here is going to be the pass, and easy touchdown for Ridley, the rookie. Great fake up the middle, and Ridley scores. They all went for Langford, the ball carrier, and Ridley, the rookie, gets the touchdown, a 7-yard toss, and the Falcons right now up by 10. They have scored in each of their last 5 possessions.
What design. Now watch him come back inside, hide, and then come back out. Now they're in man coverage, so Brett Grimes is running across the field, and if you watch him run across the field, they take each other out. The defensive backs, as they're trying to figure out who's got who in man, trying to avoid all those pick routes, but wonderful design by Steve Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator.
So Ridley, the very impressive rookie, #1 pick out of Alabama, has delivered. He had a 75-yard touchdown catch last week against Carolina. He has now caught 10 touchdown passes in his rookie year. And Matt Bryant makes it 31-20. And the Falcons started late, but they started, didn't they, toward the end of the second quarter, and have dominated the third quarter and continue it into the fourth with Ridley catching touchdown pass number 10.
Game is sponsored by Burger King. Try the new $6 King Box only at Burger King.
And it's a franchise rookie record for touchdowns receiving as Ridley gets number 10, passing Junior Miller and getting some well-needed oxygen down there in this humidity.
I'll tell you what a surprise he's been, how hard he has worked. Came on the scene, as Matt Ryan told us, exploded on the scene middle of the season. You know, his stats, his numbers weren't as good, but he kept improving as a football player. And I tell you what a find they got in the first round out of Alabama with Calvin Ridley.
Tampa Bay will take it at the 25.
All right, well, let's go back to the touchdown on the Fox Clicker. So you want to be a football player? I want you to watch Brent Grimes and Ryan Smith. They're in man coverage, so as you get this motion, they're going. Now, watch this collision. I want you to watch right about there, the A. Bam! Oh, my goodness gracious, Dick. That is vicious right there. Watch this. Wham! Wham! Oh, my goodness.
You know, I wanted to be a football player until I saw that.
That's what, you know, we call that getting a snot bubble. When you get hit so hard, snot shoots out of both your nostrils right there. That's a snot rocket.
It's appetizing, but
yeah,
that's true. That's a fact. Jacquizz Rodgers gets a couple of yards on first down as Oluokun, the rookie from Yale, makes the play. They like this guy.
Oluokun, that's common spelling on that, Dick. Oluokun, I think. I'm not really sure, but a rookie that's really taken a leadership role. Didn't expect him to play as much as he has because of the injuries to Jones early. Really has come in there and taken that leadership role and has been a really good player for them.
And the pass is dropped by Humphries. Adam Humphries dropping it. And this is the time of the year that you got to really dig down deep. You're down by 31-20. Right. You were up 17-0. You're a reliable receiver. They're going to be counting on you in the future. This is where you really got to show something.
Yeah, 446 snaps from the slot position. Up until that point, 0 drops for Adam Humphries. And you focus, it's hot, you've lost a big lead, and you got to stay locked in.
3rd down and 8. Winston getting heat, and Winston going down. They blow the whistle. And so Bruce Irvin flagged down as well at about the 42-yard line.
Holding. Defense, number 34. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, because Brian Houle was holding on the play instead of the sack and a kicking situation for Tampa Bay, they'll have the first down.
Well, you know, we just talked about Humphreys, who made the drop in the slot, and here they are right here, one-on-one. You're going to see him grab the shoulder pad. Now watch, as he comes out of the break. Little tug right there. Sorry about that, clearing the screen.
I could have done that.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, sometimes my big fat fingers hit the wrong thing.
8 penalties charged against the Falcons, only 3 for Tampa Bay. Play fake. And this pass caught and out of bounds is Humphreys. That's more like it for Adam Humphreys. Had 10 last week catches, 19 yards on this one, and a first down just into Atlanta territory.
Well, Humphreys running the sail right here. Look at Brian Poole, the underneath coverage. He's getting the right depth, but you can't throw it any better than that if you're Jameis Winston. That's a beautiful throw. And like I said, he has been money outside the numbers. That's where he has really excelled as a quarterback, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, outside the numbers. That's where he's the most accurate.
From the 49 of the Falcons, another catch, another first down. Good play made that time. And a pickup of 18 yards to Cameron Brate, tight end, and that's his first catch of the game.
Cameron Brate running the seam, trying to double team the underneath coverage on Adam Humphreys because he's been the one tearing him up a little bit, and Jameis reads it perfectly.
First down, going to the air again is Winston. Flushed out of the pocket, lost one, and it's caught by Brate again. Cameron Brate will give the Buccaneers a first and goal. Good ad-libbing that time by Jameis Winston, and they get 21 yards out of it.
I think Jameis Winston just went Pat Mahomes on him right there, right? He's sliding out to the left. He's avoiding it. Here comes Cameron Brate across, crossing the face of Aluakon. But he goes sidearm on him. Delivered. Look at this throw right here. I mean, that's a little Patrick Mahomes-esque.
You know what he did? The Harvard guy beat a Yale guy right there.
Oh.
And got the yardage. One up there in the Ivy League battle. First and goal. And the pass caught. Touchdown pass to Mike Evans. Buccaneers are not through yet, folks. As Jameis Winston with a touchdown pass, his third of the game. 10 yards to Evans. And it's now a 5-point game.
Well, Evans just looking for a spot to sit down in. He feels it. It's a zone. He feels it. He feels it. He sees the quarterback scrambling. Takes off just a little bit just to give a little extra room, and that is just absolutely driving the football. Stay on top of the laces, drive the football into the chest of your receiver.
They're going to go for 2 and look to make this just a field goal deficit right now. 2-point conversion. Plenty of time remaining here in the fourth quarter. And the pass is going to be caught, but a great play made by Alford to save the 2-point conversion to Godwin. And it remains a 5-point lead, and Dan Quinn likes what he sees.
I can't
from
tell
his
you
defense.
how good that was.
31-26. Here it is. Alford.
Almy just going through all kinds of traffic, man-to-man coverage, crossing the formation, avoiding the people, the pick routes, the rub routes, making the tackle and stop at the 2-point.
A great defensive stop on the 2-point conversion. Would have been a field goal difference, but now Atlanta's lead is 5, but you have a lot of time remaining in this game. And there you see the scoring drive. And so for Evans, 10th receiving touchdown this season, second today, and his 8th 100-yard game of the season. So Julio Jones has over 100 yards, a touchdown catch. Evans over 102 touchdown catches. And the game is as advertised. A great aerial show it's turning out to be. Marvin Hall on the return for the Falcons and runs into a brick wall near the 25. This was a big stop.
Yeah, well, here's Alford right here. He's running, he's following the jet motion. Watch him avoid Evans right there, get through the rub route and make the play, strip the ball, out of Goodwin's hands. I'm telling you what, again, I can't tell you how good that is when you're avoiding that traffic. There was a little disco jet motion there, so they came across one way and then sprinted him back the other way. Alford having to follow that the whole way. Great job by him.
From the 26-yard line, they go to Sanu on a wide receiver screen, and Sanu picks up about 7 yards on first down. Boy, after sleeping through almost the first 2 quarters of this game, look what the Atlanta offense has done in their last 5 possessions. 4 touchdowns and a field goal and 310 yards. Steve Sarkisian has them going in all cylinders right now.
Yeah, a lot of people questioning that job that he's done. I mean, so hard because he's had to change so many things from the zone running scheme that they were with all those offensive line injuries. I think he's done a tremendous job.
2nd down and 2. Brian Hill, maybe a yard, that's all. And that will bring up 3rd down and short.
And you think about the job that Steve Sarkisian did. You're a zone running team. That means all the offensive linemen are coming off together like trained bears, you know, or trained seals. They're coming off together. All that footwork is, I mean, it's got to be drilled. It's got to be repped. You lose 2 starting guards. You have changes in tackle position. So hard to do that. You've changed basically your play action because of that. And yet you still have Matt Ryan having the best season he's had since the MVP year.
Teams identical in 3rd down conversions today. 4 for 10, and it's going to be a keeper. Oh, no, it's Sanu once again. And it was a keeper, but it wasn't Ryan. It was Sanu. And it will be a 1st down.
Well, you see Sanu, and very patient. You know, he just understands. He's played quarterback in high school. He played safety. He gets it, finds a little gap there, finds a little soft spot, and finds a way to put his helmet in there, get a push, and get that 1st down. This guy is just an exceptional football player.
And 9 receivers today for the Falcons, including quarterback Matt Ryan. Ryan trying to get away from Jason Pierre-Paul. And off balance, has it intercepted. Buccaneers interception by Andrew Adams. And the first turnover of the game committed by the Falcons. Matt Ryan coming in had 6 interceptions, the fewest in a season for him. Now number 7 on the year.
Well, he saw Jameis Winston try to throw it across his body when he got into trouble outside. You're going to see Matt Ryan on the boot keep, fake 19, quarterback keep, pass right, gets a little pressure right there by JPP, tries to throw it across his body, leaves it up and outside for Hardy, and the rest is history. You can't make that mistake if you're Matt Ryan.
And a 1st down at the 34-yard line. Let's see if the Buccaneers can capitalize here. Down by 5. They need a touchdown to take the lead. And this pass is going to be caught by Humphries. What an amazing catch by Adam Humphries, beating Brian Poole to the ball. 15 yards.
Hey, there is no defense for the perfect pass. And this is, I mean, this is a horrendous decision. You see the outside Niesman, the coverage on the outside. He's got nobody holding him, so he's going to fall back in there. That's a decision you shouldn't make as a quarterback. But you know what? When you could sling it in there, it doesn't matter.
That's the worst description of a great catch I've ever seen him throw. Horrendous decision. How about this one? This is a good decision. And getting into the end zone, touchdown, Chris Godwin, his 2nd of the game. So after the worst decision you could ever see, a touchdown pass to Godwin, 4th touchdown pass of the game for Jameis Winston, and the Buccaneers regain the lead.
Just on an in-cutting route, too. These are 2, I mean, it's a bad decision, but that was a great pass to Adam Humphries, and then right there in the middle to Godwin, and let's see if he made it. Just, yeah, that's in. That is in. Great effort by Godwin, but just put the ball right on the numbers by Jameis Winston. Another wonderful throw.
Now going for 2 so that the Buccaneers can have a 3-point lead. And there is the pass, and it's broken up again by Vic Beasley. First it was Trufant with a breakup before on the 2-point conversion. This time it's Beasley, but the turnover, the big interception by Andrew Adams, setting up the touchdown. 19 yards, Winston to Godwin, and the Bucs by 1 with still 5:10 to play. Jameis Winston with 4 touchdown passes told us on Friday, I was really out of it. Suspended 3 games, violating the NFL's code of conduct. He says too much stress trying to be what everyone else wanted me to be. And then, of course, he got to play and then was benched. He said it was really a kind of a nightmarish year for him. And, you know, as he matured, he realizes he has to be not like another quarterback, not like anyone else, but be like Jameis Winston. And he's having a terrific game today. 1 interception, not on a deflection, and the Falcons on the kickoff will take it out at the 25-yard line. Well, tonight the crew of the Starship Orville is back from creator Seth MacFarlane with a brand new season of thrilling missions and epic adventures. The Orville Season 2 premieres tonight after football on Fox. But you're always waiting in the wings for an answer is Matt Ryan. We have plenty of time left, and both teams have their full complement of timeouts. Falcons will start from the 25. Brian Hill, the running back. Ridley, and he picks up 2 yards. Let's check in with Jen Hale.
Dick, this Bucs defense down 2 players now. Cornerback Carlton Davis, we were talking about that right ankle injury earlier. He is out. And safety Isaiah Johnson is questionable now with a shoulder injury.
All right, that's music to the ears of Matt Ryan, I would think, Matt, Mark.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I think one of the things you got to understand here is, you know, we talk about these meaningless games, Dick. I mean, you tell me that these players are playing this like a meaningless game. They are fighting.
Here's Brian Hill. First down for Hill as he gets up to the 40-yard line. So Brian Hill, Vea making the tackle, but a good gain.
Just a little handoff, wide zone right here. Great block on the edge by Matthews. Brian Hill cutting it back up inside. Finishing, remember, late in the game last week against Carolina, put the ball on the ground. You see him wrap it up with 2 hands. Matt Ryan got after him a little bit after that one. How important this game is to Matt Ryan. Competitor.
Try to leap over a defender instead of just holding the ball and going down. He got 12 yards, though, creating another first down. And Ryan's pass is going to be caught. Julio Jones protecting the ball as he winds up at the 45 of Tampa Bay. Ryan Smith defending. Remember, Smith went in for the injured Carlton Davis. 16 yards for the Falcons on the march.
Yeah, and they're just running a little drift on the inside here off a zone read handoff, holding the linebackers inside, and that's just an easy pitch and catch. He gets right over the football. Look at Matt Ryan put it right between the ones. Those plays are easy because there's no underneath coverage hindering the receiver as he cuts back across the field.
8 catches for 122 yards for Jones. Winding down to 3 minutes to go. And the pitch to Brian Hill. And Hill going down the sideline, and he picks up close to 9 yards on that one. Carissa Thompson, game break.
Thanks, Dick. Letting you know that coming up next, that NFC 6th seed is on the line. Vikings and the Bears. Vikings win, and they are in if they lose. You got Philly on the road taking on Washington. They have a chance to punch their ticket to the postseason. It's all coming up next, only on Fox. Dick?
Thank you, Carissa. And most of our audience will be watching that Viking-Bear game in Minneapolis. 1-point lead for Tampa Bay, and they call their first time out. But a wild second half here in Tampa. But I'll tell you, Tampa Bay keeps coming back.
Yeah, it started with the Philly special right here. Ridley to Sanu. Sanu lays it out there for Ryan, and then Tevin Coleman on an 18 handoff. You see him cut there. Cutting it back inside. Then Calvin Ridley on a beautiful design by offense coordinator Steve Sarkisian walks in. But you know what? Not to be outdone by Jameis Winston as he finds Evans in the end zone across his body. Then the turnover happens. And beautifully placed right there to Godwin, who makes the effort to get over the goal line.
Second down and 1 on the 36 of Tampa Bay. And the pitch is to Jeremy Langford. First down to the 31 of the Bucs. JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul on the tackle and a 5-yard pickup. So already getting in field goal range, as you saw Matt Bryant moments ago. His three-pointer would put the Falcons in front again, but Matt Ryan looking for more.
Well, they're managing the clock. They're not only looking for more, but they're trying to manage this clock with the explosiveness of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You want to put a score on the board if you're Atlanta and Dan Quinn, and you don't want to give any time. You don't want to give any time at all to this potent Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense.
From the 31. Here's Langford. And Langford breaks one and gets another first down. A flag goes down as well. Penalty marker. Langford had the first down.
Well, you're going to get a legal crackback block, I believe, here from the outside receiver.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 11, offense. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
Julio Jones, that's an unusual one.
Yeah, Julio Jones comes from the outside. It just goes to show you, he's just a football player, but he comes down from the outside and ends up just cracking on an inside defender, a defenseless player, and that's a costly penalty right there.
It's going to knock him out of field goal range right now.
Here he comes from the right side of the screen. You're going to see it. Bam! Right there on Whitehead. That's that defenseless player. Crackback block. Personal foul.
Very costly at this stage for the Atlanta Falcons as we're getting set for the 2-minute warning momentarily. Now the ball's at the 45-yard line of the Bucs. Out of the range for even Matt Bryant. Here's Sanu. And Sanu gets to the 37 before Vita Vea brings him down. 8-yard gain and a 2-minute warning coming up. What a battle. Ryan, 362 yards. Winston with 4 touchdowns at 345. Neither team giving ground. Everyone comes back in this one.
Game is sponsored by Bud Light, reminding you to not drink and ride your horse.
Our 2-minute warning is history, and as a result of that 8-yard pass, the Falcons are now back in field goal range for Matt Bryant. It would be a 55-yard attempt from this point. It is second down and 16. So Ryan isn't finished either getting another first down or moving it closer. For Bryant to try to give the Falcons the lead once again. It'll be second down and 16. Here's Hill. And Hill with a good run. Carissa Thompson has a game break. Carissa.
Big six, so Giants trailing 28-25. Eli Manning hands it off to Saquon Barkley, who goes airborne from the 3. That call would stand. Nick Stockton hops right there. The Giants would add on a field goal. He also became the 3rd rookie to record 2,000 scrimmage yards. Giants up in this one, 35-28. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
What a great rookie Saquon Barkley, huh? And you got Baker Mayfield. You know, rookie of the year. One of these guys is going to win it.
I don't know. Quentin Nelson, the offensive guard from Indianapolis, he's been dispensing justice all season long.
Want to remind you, coming up next, it's the State Farm game break. Coming up with those great games coming up. Vikings hosting the Bears and the Eagles playing the Redskins.
I'm the only guy that would vote for an offensive guard for Rookie of the Year.
No
right?
surprise to this reporter.
I think he's changed the attitude of that offense for Andrew Luck.
3rd down and 11 from the 32. Bucs have only 1 timeout remaining. Falcons have all 3 of theirs. And here's Matt Ryan and has another first down to guess who? Julio Jones with another catch. His 9th of the game. Gets 16 more yards. Gives him 138 yards receiving in this game, and he's met bothered by hip and rib injuries.
How good is Julio Jones? Look at him come off the ball, just square it off to the inside. Just in front of the deep coverage of the safeties right there, right in that hole versus zone. Julio Jones is just phenomenal. I mean, yeah, the block he had, yeah, he got the penalty, but how many guys are going to go in there and get in a scuffle in the briar patch that play wide receiver that are superstar wide receivers? Like, there's very few guys that are going to mix it up down there, where it's ugly and where it's nasty. He's one of them.
No diva is Julio Jones by any stretch of the imagination, and there are many of them in the NFL. So he committed the penalty, getting him out of field goal range, makes the big catch now. Right now, be a 34-yard field goal. Tampa Bay, by the way, is out of timeouts. They can't stop the clock for the remainder of this game. Second down and 11, loss of 1 yard. Bryant waiting and watching, ready to enter if needed. Buccaneers leading by 1.
And this is exactly what you have to do.
Right now, be 35 yards for Bryant, who kicked his longest field goal of the year against this Tampa Bay team in their previous game. It was a 57-yarder. And all that man Jameis Winston wants is one more shot at it. And now Atlanta calls a timeout. So dueling timeouts here in the twilight of Tampa Bay. They have 2 left. Julio Jones, we've been talking about him. Let's see him at his best.
Well, Julio Jones, and remember, this is Julio Jones against double coverage for most of the day. Double move there, get himself free for the touchdown, fighting for extra yardage on the sideline, coming back to the ball in front of coverage, and then deep down the sideline on the stutter go, protect the football. You know you're going to get lit up. Guess who came out of that? Julio Jones. And Johnson, the guy that delivered the hit, he's the one with the shoulder injury. Julio Jones, just a phenomenal, tough football player.
And just setting it up for Bryant. We have under a minute to go. And right now we're looking at a field goal try of 36 yards. State Farm game break coming up.
Well, they're going to let this roll all the way back down here. They're going to call timeout.
32 seconds now, half a minute to go. Timeout will be called. And setting up Matt Bryant. And they're coming on the field now.
First timeout.
And a timeout called with 19 seconds to go. So Atlanta calling 2 timeouts now, have 1 left. We are now on the verge of having the 69th game decided by 3 points or fewer. That is an NFL record. And what a great season this has been. In the first meeting between these teams, it was 34-29. But so many close games, and Dan Quinn's club has lost a bunch in the last couple of minutes by the slimmest of margins. Officials put 5 seconds on the clock to make it 24. And right now it looks like it'd be about a 37-yard field goal for Matt Bryant coming on to try to win it. The clock is running.
They'll, of course, take the timeout here. And I'm a little surprised, Dick, that, oftentimes you see teams kick it on 3rd down in case there's a botch snap. You have the timeout. You can protect yourself there. But they don't want to give any time to Tampa Bay and that potent offense.
Sometimes the only problem is that if you don't leave enough time for your offense and you have an offensive penalty, you don't get the chance to make the field goal. Don Shula always said that.
Right.
Leave me enough seconds.
Right. Well, they had a penalty. They had 24 seconds on the clock there, but obviously here a lot of faith in Matt Bryant, their kicker, who's been doing this for ages, 43 years of age.
Kicked a 49-yarder earlier in the game. So here for Matt Bryant, looking for another field goal to give the Falcons a win. 37-yard try. And the kick is perfect. Matt Bryant with a field goal wins the game for the Falcons, who finished 7-9 and second in the NFC South. The Buccaneers dropped to 5-11. 34-32. Both teams showing they badly wanted to win. A huge victory for Atlanta. Comeback and a field goal. They were down 17-0, and they come back and win in the finale for Dan Quinn and the Atlanta Falcons. They finish with 3 straight wins to wrap things up. And the Dirk Cutter Tampa Bay Bucs lose their 4th in a row. That's it from here. Right now, let's send it to Kurt Menefee for the State Farm Game Break.